Hello and welcome to this short presentation about induction, and it's targeted at OFPD students. That's online flexible and professional development. My name is Dr. Emer Cadigan. I'm the Assistant Registrar at ATU, and I'm based in the Quality Office that reports directly to the Registrar. So today I'm going to go through the different types of assessment and some of the terminology around them, when and where your exams will occur, and how you access the timetable for those exams and how you access the results afterwards. I'm going to briefly mention some of the additional supports that are available to you and where to go looking for information. And I'm going to touch on the key examination regulations and procedures. So the types of assessment are divided into two types. There's a final examination, that's your traditional exam in an exam hall with an invigilator. They're generally closed book, which means you receive an exam paper and a script. You just bring in your own pens and then you write the exam in a limited time period. Occasionally, exams are open book and you can bring in some prescribed materials to help you with the exam. The remainder of assessment is termed coursework assessment, and that may be through your VLE, Moodle, or Blackboard, and it could take the form of randomised questions, short answers. There may be practical work, essays or assignments you need to submit. You may be working on case studies or group work, or indeed you might be submitting your thesis. But all of those types of assessment together are called coursework assessment. So some of the terminology that we use, I've already mentioned the VLE, which in maybe Moodle or Blackboard, depending on which campus is your main campus. The approved programme schedule, the APS, it's a full description of each module, the learning outcomes, the syllabus, the assessment, and the timing of the assessment. And in addition to that, at the beginning of each semester, you should receive from your programme team an assessment plan for the semester. So that will be a matrix where it will set out all the modules together that you're due to study and when the various assessments are to come in for those modules. A stage is usually an academic year or 60 credits, although for part-time programs that stage may be split over 2 years. So these are some very important exam dates where we run the final invigilated exams. And these dates are specific to the OFPD programme students. So semester one teaching finishes just before Christmas, and then we start the semester one exams for about a week and a half for the students in Galway, Donegal and St Angela's. For the Sligo based students, or where the home campus is Sligo, there's a slightly narrower window of about 6 days. We then move on to start the teaching for semester two, and that semester two content is examined in around the second week of May. So again, it's 2 weeks for Galway, Donegal and St Angela's students and a narrower window of about 6 days for the Sligo students. Now please be aware that exams are scheduled Monday to Saturday for you, and you need to make sure that you don't have made holiday plans during those windows. If you don't need to register to take the first sitting of any exam. So the sitting in semester one and semester two, once you're registered for that academic year for that exam, we will assume that you are going to take that exam. You will need to register if you're in the position that you need to take repeat or deferred work in the August or the autumn sitting. And those exams are carried out between the mid to the end of August. It's important to know where your exam centre location is, as it's always preferable to travel to a physical exam centre to take your exam. For students whose programme is based in Galway, Mayo, Donegal, Killybegs or St Angela's, the exam centre is on the home campus for all sessions, winter, summer and autumn. There is a very small amount of proctoring for a couple of specific Galway based programs, but in the main, you must attend the respective centre for your exams. For the Sligo online programs, if your home campus is based out of Sligo, there are some concurrent centres run in the Sligo campus, the Dublin in the Marino Institute, and there may be an opportunity to take the exam online by remote proctoring in winter and summer. But for the autumn repeat session, the exam centres are on the Sligo campus and the online remote proctoring only. To explain a little bit about online remote proctoring, it is available currently at Sligo and with some very small capacity in Galway for specific programmes. And it's available to students who are completing online programmes only if they're resident outside Ireland at the time of their exam, or they have extenuating circumstances that prevent them travelling to a centre, or they live a significant distance from the centre. But I always recommend that you attend an in-person centre because it's the least risky option for you. Capacity is limited for the online proctoring, and we do have to prioritise within the people that request that option. There is significant capacity, but there is a limited number of students we can facilitate for any exam. The student must meet the necessary hardware and software requirements of the third-party provider. And sometimes if you have a company laptop, there will be firewalls. And if that laptop may not be possible to use it for online exams. There is an exam fee per exam payable to the third-party company, and it's the student's responsibility to pay that. And not every exam is suitable for online proctoring. Now, the exam timetables schedule, there's a separate schedule for each campus, and they're posted on the student hubs 4 weeks in advance of the start of each examination session. That's winter, summer, and autumn. You make sure to check the timetables regularly for updates, as the dates and the times may change, particularly in the first week as they've got that the timetables are available. We often notice duplicates, and there's a lot of logistics goes on behind the scenes coordinating all the various centres, and there may be minor changes to the timetable at that stage. We always advise students not to screenshot the timetable, but to check it live always. Don't book holidays during the exam periods, as we cannot change the timetable because of individual or personal requirements. And the exams office won't accept responsibility for students who have missed updates to the timetable. If you do have some significant personal event coming up during the exam period, you will need to defer your exam and take it again at the next session. So, following the examination period, there's about 2 or 3 weeks where we are correcting all those exams and putting the results together, and the examination boards meet and they look at all the exams. So, in order to view your own exams, you need to go on to the student portal to what we call self-service banner, and there's an option there called View Final Grades. Results will not be emailed to you, and lecturers cannot give you the results orally. If you have fees outstanding, you won't be able to access your results either. So, in the Student Services portal, there's the final grade option there. You will be able to go in and see your results. Semester 1 and 2 results are released about mid-February and mid-June, and the exact dates for next year are there. The transcripts then of your results will be available through a piece of software called Parchment. Each of you will have a Parchment account, and a few weeks after the release of results, we will have uploaded all the transcripts into all the students' accounts. The Parchment software is like a digital wallet where we will put digital copies of transcripts and other academic documents, and you can access them throughout your lifetime by changing the password and the email address to your own personal email address. If you have failed a module, then the repeat coursework for the failed module will be communicated to you about 3 to 4 weeks after the results release to you, so you know what to do for the next session. And you will be required to actively register yourself for the next session or for the repeat session. We only automatically register you for the first session. And so we're going to look at some additional supports for exams, such as exam accommodations. So these are available to students with a disability, with ongoing significant illness, or some kind of educational disadvantage. In order to apply for some of these exam accommodations, you must first register with the appropriate support service. This is either disability or for ongoing illness, you register with the disability service, or you can register with the access service for educational disadvantage. And the links for those are on the student websites, or the student hubs rather. When you submit the relevant documentation, you'd be invited to complete a needs assessment. This assessment determines what exam supports are appropriate for your circumstances. And the possible exam supports which you may be approved for are additional exam time, a smaller or separate exam venue, or perhaps the use of assistive technology. The exams office will communicate your approved accommodations before each exam session, and you must confirm your intention to use these supports by responding to the exams office. Now, this is very important that you do respond to confirm that you do wish to avail of them, or that you wish to not avail of them. And that's important so that the exams office can plan the necessary resources, the extra rooms, the extra invigilators, or to have the technology available to you to support you in your exam. List of all the links to the disability and learning service supports are here, and there's a separate office for each of the 4 main campuses. So I'm going to go through some of the examination hall regulations. These are set out in AQAE 42. They will be sent to you in advance of each examination session, and they're on the website and they're on the Students' Hub. And it's important maybe that you read through them, particularly if you're doing online proctoring. Do read through the regulations so you know you're clear before you start. Always arrive at the exam centre early, at least 30 minutes, and that will ensure that you are able to enter the exam hall, find your assigned seat, and you'll be nice and calm and ready to start the examination. Bring your current student ID, or if you don't have one, bring a photographic ID of some kind. Mobile phones were absolutely not allowed in the exam hall, and they have to be left outside. It's generally a 2-hour exam for a 5-credit module, and you can't leave before 45 minutes or in the last 30 minutes. And headphones, wearable technology, smart watches, all that technology is completely banned from the exam centre. If you're using a calculator, you must bring your own calculator, and it's your responsibility to make sure it has the battery and it's in good working order. Things like pencil cases are not allowed. You just bring in whatever writing materials you need in your hand. And water bottles are allowed, but the labels must be removed. But as I say, there's quite a lot of detail in that procedure, and it's as well to read it yourself in advance of the exams. Some of the other key policies and procedures that we have here, Marks and Standards sets out in great detail all the rules and regulations, how marks are aggregated, collated, accumulated before they are released to you. And there's a lot of detail in there about the pass mark, pass by compensation, the number of attempts that you can make. And there is a video on the Student Hub if you want to go through more detail on that. If you want to request an extension to a coursework deadline, so you're not able to submit by the deadline, you can request an extension of up to a week, and that goes directly to your lecturer. There's a form on the Student Hub, and they will approve or not approve a short extension. If you have gone ahead and you've submitted coursework or you've gone ahead and done the final exam and you wish to bring to the university something that impaired your performance at the time, so you had some circumstances like a medical event, or there was you were involved in a car crash, or a bereavement that you experienced around that time, and you want to bring that to the exam board, there's an application form again through the Student Hub that goes to the head of department, and they will bring that to the attention of the exam board. If you are unable to submit final coursework, or you want to defer all your studies till the following year, or you weren't able to take a final exam again because of some unfortunate sudden event that happened at the time of the examination or the submission of a significant piece of coursework, you can defer that academic submission and apply for deferral. And that means that that attempt is not counted as a sitting. And you can come back at the next available sitting and you can take the exam then. But it's important that you let us know about these circumstances and make the appropriate application on time. And there are deadlines for all of those applications to be in. Then, following the release of results, there is a nominated day, which is usually the day of release of results plus the day after, where you can receive feedback on each individual module by contacting the lecturer. And they will give you a breakdown of how that mark was accumulated from the different pieces or the different components of the module. So it's important that you get that and you understand how the grade was accumulated. If you're still or if you are dissatisfied at the end of that, you can then request a review of a mark, which is a remarking of a particular piece of work. Or you can request an appeal. So if you feel there was some part of the rules and regulations weren't adhered to, or you want to appeal something about how the module was delivered or assessed, then you can do that through an appeal. And again, there's deadlines for them and there's application forms on the student hubs. And it's important that you meet those deadlines and get your information together and make the application with all that supporting documentation. Now, moving on to the academic calendar. This is an important calendar. I've mentioned it already, but it has all the student key dates, and that's on the Student Hub. Past exam papers also will be available through the library on your home campus, and lecturers often put the exam paper for the previous years also on the VLE. So once about November comes, we will have all the past exam papers that were used the previous academic year. They will then be loaded into the library for you to access them for your exam preparation. There's also very good library guides on all the other facilities and services available through. So the last procedure I'm going to go through is the disciplinary procedure for academic misconduct. And this deals with things like infringements of the exam regulations. So these are things like that might happen in an exam hall, such as bringing in a mobile phone, communicating with another student, copying or cheating perhaps in an assignment. Any of those regulations are considered misconduct. Two key ones are the unauthorized use of artificial intelligence. So for each assignment, you will be guided by the lecturer as to whether you can allow to use AI at all or whether you can allow to use it partially. And it's very important that you are aware and you follow those guidelines for each assignment. Plagiarism is where you copy the works of others and have not correctly quoted or referenced that work. Contract cheating is asking somebody else to do an assignment for you. Whether you pay them or not, it is actually an offence under the law in Ireland since 2019. Impersonation is where you ask somebody else to actually take the exam on your behalf. And both the impersonator and the impersonated person are both liable to disciplinary proceedings. There are different levels, different seriousness, I suppose, of incidents that occur, and there are a range of sanctions that are available to a disciplinary committee to deal with them. So there is an examination office on each campus that comes under the Academic Affairs Administration under the registrars. And there's a set of email addresses there that you can contact an examination office if it's in regard to your results or some process or registration for repeat results. You can go ahead and contact them. I wanted to mention a new platform called My ATU that will help you manage your day-to-day activities and help you to access information quickly. In the platform, you'll be able to find your class timetable, your top 5 emails, access to transport timetables, and then at different times of the year there'll be other feeds coming in through it, like leading you through the induction process, the exam timetable closer to exams. You'll be able to access your results or opt in or out of different communication streams. So, in conclusion, the examination office are there to help. So, in doubt, please contact us early. If you go to Student Hub and you can't find the information you're looking for, the exams office will be able to point you in the right direction. All communication from the exams office or any official body from the university will only be to your ATU email. So it's vital that you check it regularly. A lot of online students find that they redirect their ATU emails to their personal account so that they can keep track of any communications from the university. This presentation will be posted in the support area of Moodle, so you can come back and refer to it if you need to later on. So thank you very much for your time and for your attention, and I wish you the very best of success in your study in the months ahead. Thank you.